Hello YouTube and welcome. I am the Honest Mechanic and I'm here to show you guys how I made my own engine load leveler at home with some scrap metal that I had lying around. Follow the steps below and hopefully you guys can make one of these and save yourself some time. Let's get into it. First you're going to need a 2-foot chunk of square tubing, a longer piece of threaded rod, some chain, washers, nuts, and a little bit of angle iron, and we're going to show you the next step, which is going to be right off the cuff, our angle iron. Now you're going to want to put this back to back in order to cause a U shape, which is going to be where you're going to slide that through that channel and cause it to make the load slidable back and forth. So for the next step, you're going to measure the width of that angle iron, cut a channel right down the center of that square tubing, just as you can see here. And then from there, weld those two pieces of angle iron together nice and solid, so that there can now be accepting these 3 nuts that you see here. You're going to want to thread the nuts onto the threaded rod before you weld anything together so that you know it's all going to move together nice and smoothly. You're going to then assemble that inside the tube so that it can start accepting the next step, which is going to be the washers at each end. Before you weld up the washers, you're going to want to weld a nut on the end between the washer and the threaded rod. This way here, when you turn that threaded rod, you're only moving the angle iron, which is the load. Right now you can see it is just a little bit tacked up. Once you've got all that put together, you can weld up that section that was accepting the angle to slide through so that you have a nice solid rigid step. Next, you're going to want to make an eye and weld that on top of that angle in order to accept your load on your cherry picker, your crane, whatever you might have in your shop. Make sure that weld is nice and solid because that's where all the weight is going to be. Here you can see you've got a D-ring attached to the slide. And next we're going to want to add some chain in order to maximize our load distribution. So we're going to put 4 chains, 1 on each corner. I measured out 14 links because I figured that was going to be enough adjustment. And the first link I welded at a 45 just because that was going to, in my opinion, deliver more even distribution load to the tool. Of course, you're going to want to put a nice coat of paint on everything just to make it look nice, and then give it a good coat of oil on those threads. Thank you for watching. Appreciate it very much.